Mike's hot, set the tone. Lily's in a booth, claiming the throne. Podcast, you already know. Turn it up loud, let the truth get thrown. Podcast, turn it up loud. Say the things they ain't allowed. Mic check, who's running the show? Lily, Abernathy, let them all know. Hit record, let's get it going. No off limits, no slow rolling. Podcast, let the truth drop. Start the countdown, we ain't gon' stop. Start the countdown, we ain't gon' stop. Mike's hot, set the tone. Lily's in the booth, claiming the throne. Podcast, you already know. Turn it up loud, let the truth get thrown. Hit record, let's get it going. No off limits, no slow rolling. Podcast, let the truth drop. Start the countdown, we ain't gon' stop. Start the countdown, we ain't gon' stop.
Salutations, listeners. This is Lily Abernathy, and if you're tuning in, congratulations. You're one step closer to being flagged by a predictive algorithm owned by a company called Palantir. If a black van parks near your apartment after this episode, just wave and say hi. They already know your name. Today's episode is about Peter Thiel, the vampire tech lord of libertarian wet dreams. A man who looks like he was brewed in a lab using Ayn Rand novels, expired blood plasma, and LinkedIn resentment. A guy who speaks in startup koans like creative destruction and liberty isn't for everyone. Translated, he thinks the world works better when he runs it. He co-founded PayPal, helped fund Facebook, and then decided the real problem with America was too much democracy and not enough billionaires with bunker fetishes. He's the sort of man who would gentrify a fallout shelter. And, spoiler alert, he already did. Thiel owns a remote luxury estate in New Zealand, complete with helipad and private bunker, because if society collapses, he wants beachfront views while the rest of us fight over canned soup. He was granted citizenship in record time, bypassing normal immigration processes because money can teleport borders. And when land isn't isolated enough, Thiel tries the ocean. He bankrolled seasteading ventures, floating libertarian tech islands designed to dodge taxes, laws, and human rights obligations. Because nothing says freedom like deregulated yachts full of bioengineered startup guys with Ayn Rand tattoos. He didn't just bankroll lawsuits to destroy Gawker, he slow-cooked it in litigation stew for years, like a sociopath with infinite time and a grudge the size of Jupiter. And instead of owning it like a decent villain, he hid behind Hulk Hogan, proving that even when Peter Thiel wants to be scary, he still needs a shirtless man to do the heavy lifting. But we're not here to psychoanalyze the most paranoid Peter, since St. Peter denied Christ 3 times. We're here to talk about Thiel's personal surveillance deity, Palantir. Palantir is Thiel's magnum opus. Named after the all-seeing crystal balls in Lord of the Rings, used by Sauron to corrupt Saruman and spy across vast distances. In Tolkien's world, the Palantiri are dangerous because they give the illusion of truth while being entirely manipulatable, like Facebook, but with a better narrative arc. So naturally, Peter Thiel took that and said, yes, perfect, I'll make that real. Because Peter Thiel is a nerd who never learned that the villains in fantasy stories are not role models. Palantir sells total information awareness. It's a data mining Death Star that contracts with everyone from the CIA to local police departments. It helped track insurgents in Afghanistan and then turned that tech inward, selling predictive policing software to American cities, racial profiling on algorithmic steroids. They also worked with ICE to make mass deportation more efficient because nothing says Western values like automating fear. Their entire business model makes Orwell look like a children's author. They ingest your public records, financial transactions, medical data, facial recognition hits, and social media habits, and fuse them into a behavioral prediction engine. Think astrology, but for cops. And Thiel, he calls this defending civilization. Palantir isn't just his company, it's his worldview rendered in code, and now he's shoving that worldview into artificial intelligence like he's trying to upload a paranoia tumor into the collective brain. Thiel's approach to AI is aggressive, misguided, and just coherent enough to be terrifying. He doesn't want alignment, he wants acceleration. He's the kind of guy who reads AI risk warnings like they're recipe cards for the apocalypse. While others in tech call for ethical constraints or open discussion, Peter Thiel funnels resources into closed-loop, surveillance-first systems. This isn't about innovation, it's about control, about taking the most paranoid parts of the intelligence community and handing them a silicon brain trained on your browser history. He's turned AI into a weapon of pattern recognition, except the patterns are human behavior, and the goal is to preemptively punish it. This is the future he wants: rule by surveillance, enforcement by prediction, governance by spreadsheet, all rendered with the soulless certainty of a man who thinks ethics are just inefficient algorithms. Peter Thiel doesn't fear a rogue AI, he fears a free one. And that's worse. This is a man who once wrote that democracy and freedom are fundamentally incompatible. He calls himself a libertarian, but if you believe in civil liberties, he's the kind that makes you want to delete the word from your vocabulary. Real libertarians want less government, not more panopticons. Thiel just wants power, pure, scalable, predictive power, and he doesn't care if it comes in a hoodie or a uniform. He sees monopolies not as problems, but as moral victories. In his world, competition is weakness, consensus is delay, empathy is inefficiency. You can't vote it out. You can't FOIA the code. You can't appeal to a terms of service you never saw. And you sure as hell can't track Peter Thiel because he already bought your metadata in bulk. He hides behind philosophical gibberish and patriot cosplay while funding dark money pipelines and LARPing as a political oracle. He doesn't just reject accountability, he wants to engineer a world where it's obsolete. He funds immortality research, not because he wants to live, but because he doesn't want to lose. He wants to outlive accountability. He wants to become an abstraction. The guy on the simulation control panel while you're stuck down here, begging Netflix to stop autoplaying. This is who's watching you, not just Thiel, but his ideology, efficient, amoral, paranoid, and smug. And most of us don't notice. Because he wrapped it in buzzwords, he made it look like tech progress. He sold the public sector its own failure, rebranded as innovation. This has been Podcast with Lily Abernathy. Unplug your echo, erase your search history, and maybe don't trust billionaires with apocalypse plans or floating nations.